History Champions. I'm your host, Chris Budihas, and joining me here in the studio is Tiffany Bannworth with Bannworth Institute of Archaeology, Paleontology, and Expeditionary Studies. Tiffany, how you been?
Oh, wonderful. It's good to see you.
Did I get all that right?
You got it.
I love it. Stuck the landing. Interview
Yeah.
over. All right. No, just kidding. So you were here a while ago, but you got a lot of things going on. So I know for our audience, it's continued to get larger over the last couple of years. So tell us more about your background and how did you get in this space?
Well, I think that when we spoke last, like 3 or 4 years ago,
Yeah.
I was operating, which I still am, the Bannworth Academy of Classical Education. I have a background in archaeology, now oddly enough paleontology, because with a doctorate in archaeology they let you on a bunch of paleontology digs too.
Do they really?
The
benefits are endless.
I know. I used to say that I jokingly that I sneak on to paleontology digs, but then I was afraid like people believed it. So I am invited to paleontology digs. I have a background in theology and theoretical physics.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my other doctorate. And I just really, I also am a mother of 8 children. Yeah. And I really felt like education needed to be rewired because I very strongly am against like the Rockefeller method of industrialization. And so I thought to myself, at one point in my life, when I was running somebody else's school, I thought maybe private school would be the answer to that. Okay. But then
it wasn't.
No, when I was working, it has its own set of problems. Okay. And so I really thought to myself, what is the best attributes of education throughout time, throughout the world? And I really tried to piece together everything that really works and is successful. And it was very successful, more than I had anticipated. Even with not only students that are on a normalized path, but students that are genius, students that are behind, students with specialties. Yeah. It seems to really work across the board. So then we had a lot of people who couldn't get to where we were. We opened up homeschooling. So we had a lot of homeschooling people from all over the world. Then we started to get, as I started
all around the world.
All around the world.
Okay, there you go.
We have students who want an American diploma. And so they are literally all around the world virtually attending. And then we had, I started to get invited more to speak at museums, to teach at museums, to speak at universities, a lot of speaking engagements. I even got invited to teach on cruise boats, to do like archaeology and stuff. So then that started to pull in adults who wanted the same type of education with especially specialties in archaeology, paleontology, stuff like that. So we opened up the virtual university. So it's Professor Adventures Virtual University. And we have doctors from all over the world who are teaching their specialties to homeschool students, really anybody can sign up, adults, whoever that wants to be in it, as long as they can academically meet the criteria. Have at it. You can get as many. You can get certificates, and if you're a K through 12 student, you can get it articulated onto a report card. Okay. Meeting the criteria. So then, people were like, "Well, we want more of this adult education, but we want it more seriously. I mean, you can articulate it onto a K through 12 diploma. What about can you articulate it into a college degree?" So then we started to get on a 5-year plan. So now we're in the first couple of year stages where we've just opened up this year the Institute. And the Institute is kind of the first building up of how are we going to put together this college. First, it's starting out with degrees. We're locating these special instructors that understand the way of teaching all around the world and putting it together. In fact, the most exciting one is I was just in Washington, D.C. last week. Okay. And an Egyptologist named Ibrahim Salama. He flew in from Egypt to meet me in D.C. And he has now signed on to teach all areas of Egyptology. He is signed on to even teach colloquial Egyptian Arabic. Okay. And he is also going to be offering private Egyptological tours throughout Egypt. And he has allowances to go into places that your typical tour would not be able to get to. And so this is the type of exciting stuff that we're trying to bring to the forefront because we want education to be a lifelong adventure, not just something you won and done it and then you move on with your life, but that what am I going to do next year? Where can I go next year? And we're also working with, as you saw now, we have archaeology, paleontology, but expeditionary sciences, which is you as a soldier, get it? You have to know how to exist in the field, and that's not taught. So people who are academic archaeologists are going to die out in the sun. They don't know how to do it. Because my first dinosaur dig. So I've been on a lot of paleontology digs. My first dinosaur dig, I was in a dust devil.
Yeah.
Like, and they tell you, I was the only one that was like dressed for it, to pull up your bandana, pull down your hat, just sit in there and let it pass over you. But that's training that you need to know. And so I'm actually in the talks with somebody who teaches like mountaineering in the Alps, and he is going to teach methodologies, and then offer, he's not officially signed yet, but then offer a hike once a year in the Alps.
How interesting.
So we're putting together adventures now on top of it.
That's great. No, I mean, you look at the package, there's so much to unpack there. I mean, the fact that I always tell folks, in order to understand where we're at now, we got to look backwards, right? And the finite amount of time backwards, like I was telling somebody on the radio today, I said, I think we've been doing this since the Greeks and the Romans. This is not a new phenomenon. We just have kind of forgotten about it.
Right.
And so your ability to help educate those folks, because what happened in the past affects the current day. And you mentioned this 5-year plan. Do you have will have an impact on your strategy for the future?
Absolutely.
So the ability to impact that, and then the fact that you have a global reach is huge.
Which is shocking to me, because I'm like, how do they find out about me? But and it's funny because I have a website that I can see who's pinging in all over the world. And middle of the night, there's people from Europe, people from Africa. The only continent that hasn't pinged in yet is Antarctica. So if I could just get those research scientists onto it, then we've got it covered.
You might well give them
also
credit.
continents.
Well, that's huge. So how do folks find more about not just you, but also what you currently have and what you're building?
For the most part, where people find me is either LinkedIn or Google. So they go on our website, which is bannworthacademy.com, and they are looking for something different, and somehow I'm being recommended, whether the algorithm or what. It's funny because I don't advertise. So this is all a word to mouth spread, and it's wild because I feel like I've been laying down the foundation. I've been really putting my nose to the grindstone these building up years, because we just opened up this type of philosophy in 2020. And I feel like I'm entering into
fast.
Right. And I also feel like, to quote like a Pilgrim's Progress type of concept, I'm entering into the Beulah stage where I'm really seeing like the promises fulfilled, and I'm seeing the doors that it's opened, and how I'm able to go to this museum. I'm able to now build these relationships with people in the field so that I can, foster relationships with students who want to get into this. So I just came back from a dig in the Petrified Forest. I was at the Hanksville Burpee Dinosaur Quarry, and in 2 weeks I actually leave for South Dakota to go on a woolly mammoth dig, Columbian woolly mammoth dig in the Hot Springs.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's like I'm going to know people in these areas. So, you love mammoths? Let me put you in touch with the people in Hot Springs, And these opportunities are not only really fruitful for the people who want to have me as their, intercessor, but also it's like living a dream. I get to go do all these things on top of it.
It doesn't feel like a job.
Right, exactly.
And you're making people in your community better as a result. When I say community, global community in this case.
Which is amazing
more
for
educated.
me.
That's huge. So what I like to do, Tiffany, is one more time, tell us what the website is.
It is bannworthacademy.com. So my last name, 2 N's, academy.com.
That's Bravo Alpha November.
That's right.
WORTH.
Yeah, there's a word. Yeah.
We'll put all that contact information in our show notes and encourage folks to reach out to you and see what you're doing and how you're doing what you're doing. And if they got interest to make contact, obviously. LinkedIn, I know you're very active there. It's a great place to
And even
connect.
on the website, they can send me messages. It has and also the school phone number has access to both phone calls and text messages. So people from all over the world are in different time zones. And so I know for a fact India is 9.5 hours away from me because I get text messages from India often. So anytime, if I'm unconscious, I'll get to you when I wake up.
That's excellent. Fair, after your first cup of coffee.
It's a global time period, right?
No, I get that. And what I like to do is sometime, near the end of the year, beginning of the year, come on back and tell us, where you're at in that 5-year journey to build this institute that you're creating. I mean, you already have an institute. Now to get in that structure to kind of continue to build upon it and make it into, really what we need to understand as people and how we do what we do and to make it a better world, and you're part of that solution.
Wow. So thrilled to be part of it too.
Yeah. Thanks, Tiffany.